everybody. So, Heart here. I wanted to go ahead and do a quick video here. It shouldn't be very long. I was just on YouTube for a moment and seen this pop up in my news feeds. It's called 6 Iowa Mysteries So Disturbing They Were Never Supposed to Be Found. And I want to do a reaction video here because as I scroll down, I seen the person that posted this, it was 8 days ago, marked terror with 37,200 subscribers. First comment I see is, I live in Iowa. I've been to Villisca. The closet door in the house is not sealed shut. I stood in the closet. There's no unknown graves anywhere around that house because it's on a corner in the street in town. It is a creepy house. There's definitely something there, but if you're going to report on something, please tell the truth. What? So, I haven't watched this video yet. And you're going to watch me react live, and if you want to see the full video for yourself, I will leave a link directly to the video in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. But here we go, we're gonna jump right in. We ain't gonna waste any more time.
And some were meant to be. Out here beneath the some states are forgotten, and some were meant to be. Out here beneath the cornfields, beneath the rivers, beneath the forests, there are things they never wanted unearthed. Doors sealed shut, tunnels that were filled, but never emptied. Voices still echo in abandoned towns. Lights still flicker from lakes that swallowed entire cities. And sometimes, the footsteps you hear in the forest aren't behind you, they're beneath you. These aren't legends. These aren't ghost stories. These are records, witness statements, documents.
In Iowa? Yo, where? Where, bud? Like, I live in Iowa. So, if this exists, I want to go.
And places you can still find if you know where not to look. So lock your doors, put on your headphones, and pull the blanket up tight, because after this, you'll never see Iowa the same way again.
First spot, Villisca House. Here we go, guys. So, my team, Heart, has been there several times. This ought to be interesting.
The Van Meter visitor, the winged thing that Iowa tried to forget. Some monsters are born in nightmares, others crawl straight out of the ground. Van Meter.
Hold up a tick. Van Meter? How far away is Van Meter, Iowa?
The drive from your location to Van Meter is 63.0 miles.
Okay, so it's an hour north of where I live. Yeah, I know where that is.
Meter, Iowa.
No!
A quiet farming town until the screams started. It began on a cold night in September of 1903. Locals reported seeing something, massive, winged, and glowing. Not glowing eyes, its entire head glowed, like a beam. Witnesses said it was nearly 8 feet tall, leathery wings, a thick neck, and smelled so rotten, it made people sick.
Was there a vulture flying in the sky late at night and somebody flashed a light on it? Like, what?
First person to see it was Eugene Griffith, a respected businessman. Walking home, he noticed a bright light moving above the rooftops. At first, he thought it was someone carrying a lantern, until it flew straight over his head, silent, except for the air, ripping like fabric being torn. The next night, it returned. This time, perched on the rooftop of the town's hardware store. The owner, Clarence Dunn, was ready. He grabbed his shotgun, fired.
Yo! I ain't never heard this shit. Ever.
Point blank, but instead of falling, the creature let out a sound, not a roar, not a scream, a metallic shriek, like grinding steel, mixed with something alive. The next morning, they found massive 3-toed footprints in the dirt. The plaster cast still exists today. Locals armed themselves, shot at it again the following night, but the bullets had no effect. It moved.
Literally all these images, like none of this is Van Meter at all. Okay, so let's go Van Meter, Iowa. Half human, half bat. Van Meter remembers a 1903 visit from a winged monster. Get out of my face. This story was originally published May 3rd, 2013. The story was published in 2013. The 2021 Van Meter Visitor Festival will be held from noon to 8 p.m. Imagine what a smartphone in 1903 Van Meter could have accomplished. Instead of shouldering shotguns and blasting away at an 8-foot winged creature with a forehead horn that cast a beam of light, panicked citizens could have quickly posted a YouTube video, case closed, monster confirmed. Why do I get a very strong feeling that this is all bullshit?
Just a few towns over, there's a cemetery with tunnels sealed shut for over a century.
Wait. So, if they're going to talk about the cemetery, I just saw the Black Angel of Death, and there is a curse story around her. I'm just going to tell you right now, I touched her. Whoa, that's not what I meant. I mean, there... Okay. There is this lore about supposedly if you touch or kiss the Black Angel of Death, you're going to die in like 3 days. One of those weird. So, the day before our daughter's surgery, we went to the cemetery and took a couple photos with the Angel of Death, the Black Angel of Death. Here we go. Let's see if it's that story.
The screams beneath Oakland Cemetery. The locked tunnel no one opened again.
It really is a magnificent statue.
Some places echo grief. This one amplifies it. Oakland Cemetery isn't the kind of place people avoid. It's old.
It's not just a statue, it's actually somebody's grave. So don't, like, go walking all over it. Like, we were off on the sides of it, and took a couple pictures with her. And I'm just gonna say right now, like, it was a huge deal to me to actually go there and see her face to face, because I wrote a poem about her when I was 13 years old, about the Black Angel of Death. I have it in my little poetry book that I made in like the 8th grade. So yeah, it was a big deal for me to see her.
Old, beautiful even, rows of Victorian headstones, marble angels, a famous statue known as the Black Angel, cursed according to locals. But it's not the angel that keeps people awake at night. It's the screams from beneath. The story starts in the late 1800s. A network of tunnels was constructed beneath the cemetery. Not for the living, not for a...
Well, I know where she's located, so... There's a tunnel system that runs under Cedar Rapids near the Black Angel of Death Cemetery. The tunnel connected the caves to the banks of the Cedar River at the location known as Sand Prairie, but over time it began to collapse. So I did know that there was like some tunnel systems throughout Iowa, but I just want to double check and see if this tunnel system existed before we move on any further.
Escape, but for by storage.
I still don't buy it. I mean, if people are hearing random screams, we hear random screams out here too. They're bobcats.
In Iowa's brutal winters, the ground froze too solid to dig graves, so the dead were stored underground in sealed, cold chambers until spring. Then, something went wrong. In 1898, workers reported voices, not whispers, not footsteps, crying, panic, screaming from behind the brick walls. At first they blamed the wind, echoes, shifting earth, until one worker pressed his ear to the wall and heard pounding, rhythmic, desperate, like fists and against stone. When they opened the nearest chamber, there was nothing. No body, no damage, just silence. But the pounding moved to the next wall and the next, like something running, room to room, trying to get out. Records show the tunnels were sealed in 1907. Concrete, brick, filled and forgotten, or meant to be forgotten. Because in 2011, a group of amateur explorers lowered a microphone through an old maintenance shaft. What they captured defies explanation. A low hum, then a voice, muffled, distorted, but clear enough to transcribe, "It's still here, help," and then a scream, high, raw, human, before the audio cuts to static. When they returned the next day, footsteps from beneath the ground, others are hidden beneath the water. Sometime in 2012, during one of Iowa's worst droughts, a kayaker exploring the exposed shoreline found something wrong. A corner of concrete, but not a foundation. A room, perfect angles, smooth walls. A doorway leading straight into the lake. When he paddled closer, he swears he heard it. A voice, faint, female, singing, not words, not a song, just a sound, and then splashing behind him. When he turned, there was nothing. He marked the spot, took photos, but when he came back the next day, the water had risen, just enough to cover it. Locals say the lake doesn't give everything back at once. It just shows you enough to remind you it's still there. Divers report equipment failures, radios cut out, compasses spin, and more than once, kayakers have said they saw a light under the water, small, pale, moving, slowly. In 2018, satellite images during a record drought showed shapes, not natural, not random, straight lines, perfect corners, something still standing under the water. The Army Corps denies any remaining structures. There is nothing dangerous beneath the lake. Locals disagree, because sometimes the water drops, and what comes back should have stayed buried. Some things are hidden beneath water. Others wait in the trees. Deep in the forests of Black Hawk, people hear things, whispers, footsteps, and voices that always seem just behind you, because in the woods, not everything you hear wants to be found.
So basically, they are creating spooky stories for something that was done deliberately. Like, it wasn't a tragedy. I mean, I guess it depends on what way you look at it, but it was a ghost town, so they filled it in and gave themselves a lake, and it just, people are forgetting over time that something like that was ever a thing, because like I said, I wasn't even aware that there was several towns put underwater just so they could have the lake. Nope, would have never known that. I do think it would be cool to go see it, though. That sounds like that's over by the ledges. I'm not really sure where Red Lake is. I guess I should have just looked up. Don't matter.
The howling forest of Black Hawk, voices between the pines.
I think it seems like there might be some locations for, some of us to go check out, right? I mean, I'm not just gonna sit here and react. I'm gonna go there.
Forests are supposed to be loud. Birds, wind, leaves cracking underfoot. But here, the silence feels wrong. Black Hawk State Park, a peaceful trail by day. By night, it becomes something else entirely. Locals call it the Howling Forest, not because of wolves, not because of wind, but because something calls back. It starts simple, footsteps, not yours, but synced with yours. Every time you stop, it stops. Then the whispers, not words, not voices you recognize, just a sound, close, too close. In 1947, the first police report was filed. A man hiking alone called for help, claiming someone was following him. When authorities arrived, he was gone. No footprints, no gear, just his car, still parked at the trailhead. His body was never found. Since then, the stories grew darker. Campers reported children laughing from nowhere, a woman crying just out of sight,
Probably
heavy
Bobcat.
breathing from behind trees when no one was there. In 1992, a group of college students spent the night near the southern ridge. At 2:13 a.m., one of them left the tent, claiming to...
And depending on where this location is, like the further north of Iowa that you go, we We have bears up there.
Hear someone calling his name. It sounded just like me. Same voice, same tone. It was me. When he didn't come back, the others followed and saw it. A figure, tall, thin, standing perfectly still between the trees. No face, no color, just black. When the
It was Slender Man. Sight confirmed. Slender Man sighting confirmed.
They shined their flashlight, it vanished. By morning, they packed up and left. 2 of them never returned to the park again. The third refuses to talk about it. Locals have a saying, if the forest feels too quiet, you're not alone. You're being hunted. Hikers describe a moment every time. When the wind stops, when the leaves stop moving, when every sound gets swallowed. And in that moment, the howling starts. Low, guttural, a sound that feels like it's coming from inside your own head. In 2017, an experienced outdoorsman caught audio of something that still hasn't been explained. A deep hum, then a voice, not a scream, not a growl, a sentence. Stop walking, 3 words, followed by a howl, a sound so loud, so close, his mic overloaded, and then footsteps, circling him, fast. But there was nothing there. Park rangers don't patrol the forest after sundown anymore. It's not safe, not because of animals, because of something else. Some say it's the spirits of the displaced. Some say it's an echo of something older than the forest itself. But locals agree on one thing. If you hear something call your name, don't answer. Not here. Some things whisper from the trees. Others never left the house. Just 1 town over, there's a house where the doors still shut on their own, where footsteps never stop, where the sounds of that night never left. Because what happened there was too violent to ever go silent.
All you need to do is download Buff, let it run in the background as you play, and just like that you'll start earning Buff points. These can be used in the market.
The sealed doors of the Villisca murder house, the sounds never left. Villisca, Iowa. Some houses are haunted by stories. This one is haunted by something else.
Tragedy.
June 10th, 1912. A night so violent, Iowa has never recovered. In the small town of Villisca, an entire family...
Again, this is what Iowa is most known for, is the Villisca house. Don't even get me started on it. Oof. And like, I live an hour east from Villisca. So yeah, I've been there.
Family was found butchered. 6 children, 2 adults, all murdered with an axe. No fingerprints, no footprints. No one ever caught. But the house remembers. Locals say the doors never stopped closing themselves. Footsteps still echo in the halls, and sometimes just you hear the axe. Visitors report heavy footsteps pacing between rooms, doors that slam with no wind. Children's voices whispering, "He's back." The walls are original, the floors still stained in places where blood was scrubbed, but never fully gone. In 2004, a paranormal investigator spent the night alone.
I've never seen... What did that guy just say? Oh.
Scrubbed, but never fully. Children's voices whispering, "He's back." The walls are original, the floors still stained in places where blood was scrubbed.
No. Not once did I ever see a stain where there was blood. There is wear from moving furniture, people walking around in it for years upon years upon years. Like, there's wear in the boards, but there's no blood-stained spots. What the fuck, dude?
But never fully gone. In 2004, a paranormal investigator spent the night alone. At exactly 2:17 a.m., his audio recorder captured a low dragging sound, footsteps, then a voice. "Don't open the door." The next morning, he was found by staff, unconscious, no injuries, no explanation. When asked what happened, he refused to speak. He left the state, never returned. Multiple documentaries attempted to film inside. Cameras fail, batteries die, and more than once, filmmakers report hearing the sound of breathing inches from the mic, with no one there. In 2014, a tourist staying overnight stabbed himself in the chest. When questioned later, he said, "The house told me to do it. It said..."
You know, I even actually remember that story being told. This is where people get the idea that there's something dark and malevolent in this house, and that's not the case at all. It's not. You know, you're primed when you go in there. You are so primed. If you know anything about the Velisca house, you're already primed. You know what happened there was tragic, horrible, and you feel that. Anyone who holds empathy within themselves will feel that. Parents who have children, loved ones. So there's nothing dark and malevolent there. If there was something dark and malevolent there, I would have found it. Because I challenged it. I went down in the cellar by myself, sat there in pitch darkness. The only thing I was really scared of in that moment was being attacked by a spider. That idea creeped me out more than anything. I mean, we had some weird experiences there, and for sure I had somebody like pound on the wall behind me, and it scared the crap out of me. And that was like right before you go up the stairs. There's this wall there, and I had asked if they could get, we hadn't even started anything yet. I was just asking, I'm like, can you give me 3 loud knocks to know that you're here? You know, and then it happened, and it scared the crap out of me. But I think that was just a humor thing more than anything. It wasn't dark. Nah. Nah, fam. It was bullshit. I'm sorry, but I call bullshit on it. Like, I don't believe there's anything there that's gonna convince you to stab yourself. If that were the case, I mean, I had several people there. We have weapons too. And that thought never crossed anyone's mind. I don't know. It's these stories that, it's not that I want to discredit other people's experiences, but I'm not trying to sound mean. It just sounds like an excuse. An excuse to do something ridiculous. Maybe to claim their own form of attention. I just don't buy it. I don't believe any spirit can possess you and make you stab yourself. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop ranting, finish it. There's 3 minutes left. Let's finish this.
Said, "Finish what was started." The most chilling detail. When you walk into the children's room, the closet door is sealed, nailed shut, painted over, locked from the outside.
No, it's not.
No one opens it. Not guides, not owners, no one. Because the last time someone tried, they heard knocking from the inside. Paranormal equipment picks up. EMF spikes. Without electricity.
That closet you can open and go sit in there. In the children's room? Yeah, it ain't nailed shut or locked up. Like, what? Okay, now I see what that comment was about. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure... Actually, I don't know if there is video footage of us going into that closet. I know we went in... There's video footage of us in the attic. We went and sat in the closet, but after a little while it gets a little boring. No, that's not true.
Electricity. Voices saying, "Hide. He's here. Don't breathe." And sometimes, the sound of an axe dragging across the floor. The official story. It's a tragic piece of history. The locals. History doesn't knock back. Some houses trap the past. Others bury it. Beneath the earth itself. In a cemetery. Just beyond the tree line. There are graves that shouldn't exist. Names that vanish from stone. Voices that never learned how to stay quiet. Because in Forest City, some disappearances were never meant to be solved.
Okay, now I see why that person made that comment about what's surrounding this house is other houses. And like, I think right across the street, they're like apartments or low income housing or something. But this house is literally surrounded by houses. There's no cemetery right there. There's no grave site or any sort of thing. There's not even really a tree line. Like, there's some trees there and around, because there's always... But, no. No. And as far as, like, the family's graves are concerned, they are located at the Villisca Cemetery. People do go there. My team went there. We went and paid our respects to the family. And I had a couple things that my daughter wanted me to leave for the children that I left at their graves. So we went and paid our respects after we were done investigating. But yeah, there's no grave sites around the house at all. That's unless somebody made a cemetery for their pet cat.
The Lost Children of Forest City.
The children's cemetery, yes. Supposedly you can hear the voices of children. Supposedly when you park there, you can get handprints on your windshield.
The cemetery where names fade too fast.
Didn't hear or experience anything.
Some graves hold memories. These hold something worse. Forest City is small, quiet, safe, or that's what people say. Just beyond the edge of town, there's a cemetery. Old, overgrown, forgotten, on purpose. Locals call it the Children's Field, because since the early 1900s, it's where they buried the ones they couldn't explain. The records are missing. Church logs, gone. Grave maps, incomplete. And some graves have no names at all. Stone markers, faded faster than they should. Whole sections where...
Okay, it's still somewhat maintained. That's not... But as far as, like, tarnished graves are concerned, yeah, you're not going to see some names on some of the tombs because they're that old. We have 2 cemeteries out here in the country right now that look just like the children's cemetery. And somebody goes out and takes care of each cemetery and mows the lawn and stuff and keeps it cleaned up around there. But, I mean, tombs over time, yeah, they tarnish and names eventually fade off of them. It's not that they're fading faster than they should. They're just that old.
Where the grass grows, but no one remembers who's under it. And then there are the sightings. Since the 1950s, locals report children running between the trees. Small voices, calling, just out of reach. Laughter, distant, then suddenly behind you. They never get close. They never speak directly, but always they're watching. In 1979, a boy disappeared near the southern woods. Search teams combed the area, found nothing except footprints, small, barefoot, leading from the trail into the cemetery. But here's the part no one talks about. The footprints stopped, mid-stride, like the earth swallowed them whole. His body was never found. In 2003, 2 hikers exploring the edge of the cemetery heard it. A girl's voice, soft, crying, "Help me." They followed it.
Alright, I'm done. I'm done. In 1979, a child went missing. And we're going to connect it to paranormal. That's really gross. Because, I mean, there was quite a few kids that made headlines of them going missing here in Iowa. And it was because they were being abducted. So, I'm not a fan of that. Anyway, alright, if you If you have a comment, tell me what you think. I'm sorry, I'm like a little brain screwed right now. Yeah, tell me what you guys think of this video. Just leave a comment down below, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see me do similar videos to this in the future, let me know. I am going to stop this and go play some PUBG. So, I will see you all in the next video. Ta-ta for now. Bye!
No hex can hold. I burn through lies like a storm.